My name is Walter Drake, and I graduated in 1989 from Noonan High School, and I came back in '94. I was a teacher and a coach here for 3 years, and then became an assistant principal here. And then I moved to East Coweta High School to become the athletic director there for 4 years. And then after that, I moved to Evans Middle School to become the principal. I did that for 2 years, and now I am currently coordinator of facilities in the county. So that is my present position.
What activities were you involved in when you were at Noonan High School?
I played basketball for 4 years and soccer for 4 years. Those were the two sports that I was involved in most, and enjoyed both of them. Had a good time.
Do you recall any teachers from your time period at Noonan High School?
Well, of course, Steve Quisenberry, coached me in soccer. John Zahner coached me in my earlier years in soccer. Terrell Reed was always a big part of my life in basketball. He was my varsity basketball coach all the years that I played there. Blake Bass coached me some. He was the assistant coach who later became superintendent of schools here. He was the assistant basketball coach for a couple of years. And those were really the main coaches I was involved in at the high school level.
After you became administrator here and then have gone on to the central office level, what kind of changes have you seen at Noonan High School over the years from when you were here in the late 80s to the present time?
I think the biggest change, and we were talking about this with some other people the other day, is just the computers. We were talking earlier when we came and did the interviews with some other people, and all the textbooks are basically leaving the classroom, and everything is becoming computer oriented. You never saw people bringing laptop computers to school back then. You never saw the phones the way they are. Just the overall technology is what I think is changing schools the most. And that goes into sports too. I mean, the way that we film games, the way that we send films to colleges, everything's online now, and right at your hands. Used to, the college coaches, and they still do a little bit, would come to games, but they don't have time to do that now. You just send film or whatever through the internet, and they read it.
What part of the job did you enjoy the most when you were an administrator here at Noonan High School?
I think the job that I enjoyed most was just dealing. It's going to sound crazy, but the discipline part, dealing with the kids. I enjoyed doing that, and enjoyed also going down and playing sports with the players on every team. I'd play with the football players. I'd go down and play with the basketball players. Go out, and then when I came back, I helped you with soccer, so I enjoyed that too. So just mainly being with them all the time.
Do you think the relationship between Noonan High School and the community is an important relationship, and if so, how so?
Well, I've always thought of Noonan High School basically being Noonan itself. Everything that goes on here, for instance, all the parades starting in here mainly. Definitely the 4th of July is huge. Everybody comes down to the stadium to watch the 4th of July fireworks and all that stuff. And it seems, even when I was here as assistant principal, all of the use of facilities, anything church-wise or whatever that was too big for some of the smaller churches, would come to Noonan High School and do that. All your SATs, all your big tests that can't fit in anywhere else would come here. So it's definitely a part of the community. I mean, all your events that are big are usually here at Noonan High School, not at other schools.
When you came back to Noonan High School, you had to work with people that had been your teachers previously. You got any comments on that? How was that?
That was it was kind of intimidating to start with, because they see you as a student and you see them as teachers, and both of you've got to come to this level to where you're working with each other. And I didn't take school real seriously when I was in school. I kind of got by like a lot of people when they did come to school, and I was able to do that. But when you're teaching, you've got to get into the material, you've got to learn the material so you can teach it to the students. One thing that was interesting when I got back was we had to teach, I was PE, that was my field, and so we had to teach a field out of our certified field. So when I got back, one of the things I remember was I had to teach biology. All of the PE teachers had to take one block of biology at that time. So I remember Kurt Stallings, who later became a principal, Kathy Stallings, who'd worked here a long time, myself, several other coaches had to teach one block of biology. And you had to know what you were doing. I didn't really know that much about biology, so I had to get in there and read on it every day and learn what I was doing to be able to teach it. And so I remember Mark McLean really helped me a lot doing that, and Ann McLean also. She was Ann Gibby when I went through, and I didn't do too well in her class, so I'm sure they were thinking, what in the world is he doing teaching biology? But I think as we went through it, they saw that I had recommitted myself to trying to do what I needed to do rather than just playing. So I think it worked out well.